All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to TikTok Live and YouTube Live. It's the first time we've done anything like this, but I figured it was a bit of a momentous occasion here as I had the ultimate privilege of being able to ride Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind earlier today. And it was something that I really, really want to discuss with you guys. Now, today was the first day of cast member previews, and I was able to ride. And it's the first day that anyone but the ride team and the ride developers and Imagineers or anybody like that has been able to ride Cosmic Rewind. And everyone out there I know has questions. So, what I wanted to do is to get on YouTube, hello, and get on TikTok, hello, and wanted to see what kind of questions you guys had. We are going to discuss spoilers. We are going to discuss ride elements. I will preface this whole thing with the fact that I did not see the entire pre-show. So what happened was, since today was the first preview day, I guess, for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, not everything was up and running and available for us to see. My assumption, I don't know this for a fact, I didn't hear it from anybody, but my assumption is that they're going to save the entire pre-show and the entire queue for when the official previews start for DBC, Club 33, Golden Oak, annual pass holders. I think they're going to be saving the entire queue for that because there are still things going on in the queue that they are working on, and the Imagineers are just prepping it so it's perfect for opening day for all of you folks out there. But I did have the honor and the privilege to ride today. I only got to ride it once. There was a little bit of technical difficulties, and by the time that we came out of the ride, we were not able to go back in and ride it again. Although I did hear that a lot of people went into the ride and got to ride 2 or 3 times today. So lucky them, jealous of them, but not much you can do about it. Brittany, thank you for joining here. You're most excited for that, for your trip this year. When are you coming down? When are you coming down here to Disney? Because it does open to the public May 27th. That is Friday, Memorial Day weekend. However, if you were able to get enough, or if you were lucky enough to get a preview for annual pass, DVC, anything like that, then good on you, because it was really tough. It sold out very quickly. Now, I'm going to also preface this with we are in Orlando right now, and it is like Thor is right outside our window. It is thundering. It is lightning. It is crazy weather out there right now. The lights have already flashed in our studio here. And so if by any chance we get disconnected here, I'm sorry, but we'll try to pick this up as soon as possible. November, that's super exciting. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will definitely be open by then. So with that said, I just wanted to discuss a few things with you guys. I know, so Donald Duck the Puppet, hello, welcome. I did not see the entire pre-show, but Disney Parks on Instagram, TikTok, whatever they're posting on these days, they did post videos and pictures of what they're calling the Galaxarium, and that was the first room of the queue, and that was really cool. The lighting was awesome. Even the dividers for the park goers was really, really cool. It wasn't your typical, chain or metal pole switchbacks, when you go back and forth in a queue. It was actually this really beautifully designed glass and metal combination, almost like these round ramps. That was really cool. And then the ceiling, the entire ceiling was basically this giant projection that is on a 30-minute loop, and it was really stunning. You get to kind of see out in the cosmos. You get to see an Awesome Mix Volume 1 tape floating towards you, which is Peter Quill's cassette tape with all his favorite music on it. And then there was a giant turkey leg constellation, which was really fun. Lots of stuff going on in that Galaxarium. So definitely be sure to check that out when you do have a chance to enter the Cosmic Rewind queue. like I said, we did not get to see the pre-show, so I have no clue what is past the Galaxarium all the way up until the ride, the load area, which Disney also put out pictures and videos and such of the load area for the coaster, and it is very cool. It's like it's kind of intense, honestly. When you walk in there, like you feel like you're at this huge, almost like I can't even describe it. It's like this really intense room that you know you're about to board something awesome and blast off into space. So can't recommend getting to that load area enough because it is just so cool to see. Please, out there, any of you guys watching, I see at least 57 of you out there right now. If you do not subscribe to us on YouTube already, head to youtube.com/a-couple-of-parkhoppers. We are coming close to our goal of 1,000 followers or 1,000 subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you would, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's talk ride. Let's talk about what we saw on the ride. And I'm going to preface this with spoilers. If you don't want to know anything about the ride, definitely don't continue to watch here. Donald Duck the Puppet 1 says, on a thrill level, what other coaster would you compare it to? So here is my assessment of the intensity. It is about as intense as Space Mountain. It's not any more intense than that, but there are elements from other coasters that I would include in that as well. Visually, it reminded me a lot of Rock and Roller Coaster, where it's very dark, but there's things that are lit up, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then there's a reverse launch that starts. The beginning of the coaster is a reverse launch, and it feels similar, not quite as intense, but it feels very similar if you've been on Expedition Everest in Animal Kingdom, where you go backwards and up that hill at the same time. It is very similar sensation in your stomach to that, but it's not quite as intense. It is, I kid you not, and I've been on Velocicoaster, I've been on Hagrid's. It is probably the smoothest coaster I've ever been on. It is beautifully designed, and the really cool thing about the ride vehicles, they're very people-friendly ride vehicles. Usually, Disney has been a little not so forgiving with the ride vehicles. You know, if you go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or you go on Expedition Everest, sometimes those are really tight fits, especially on your legs. One thing noticed right away on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is that there's lots of room around you in the seat, and there's a ton of leg room. So, like, I'm 5'10", and I wasn't even touching the front of the cart that you're in. So, tons of leg room. It's very well designed and very people friendly. People of all sizes and shapes. It'll definitely accommodate you for sure. No, they did not have the animatronic Groot out. Like I said, I did not go past the Galaxarium, which is the first room of the queue. We skipped the entire pre-show. It was not ready yet. I assume it's going to be open for the annual pass DVC Golden Oak Club 33. All those previews that are going to be starting in early May to late May before the May 27th opening. I'm assuming, I wasn't told this, but I was assuming that the full-on pre-show will be released after the solo cast member previews. So very cool stuff there. Yes, Rex means king. The legroom is awesome. One other thing that's really cool too is that because there's show elements where you kind of slow down and watch things, you never stop once the coaster starts, which is really great. You do slow down a little bit, and the cart, it actually turns towards the show scenes, and that you get to watch. But one of the cool things is that in each car of the coaster train, there are 4 seats, 2 by 2, and the back seat of the of each car was actually a little bit higher than the front seat. So even if you have smaller visitors sitting in the back, you can definitely see over the people in front of you, which is a really nice touch for how um, the way you have to look at things on this ride. If you are enjoying this live and you want to learn a little bit more and you want to share it with your friends, share this TikTok right now. Share this YouTube live. Go ahead and subscribe, youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers, and let us know what you are thinking. Did anything surprise me in the attraction? I it I think it was definitely more kid friendly than I thought it was going to be. I knew there was the reverse launch. I knew there was drops. I knew there was hills, but it wasn't as intense as I thought it would be. But it was the perfect amount of intense for the entire family to enjoy. I really, really, really loved the entire ride was so smooth. One really cool part is that a ride like Rock and Roller Coaster is 1 minute and 20 seconds. You know how short that ride is, and um, this ride was pushing. I didn't time it, but I did see this on Twitter that the time of this ride was close to 3 minutes. So it's almost 3 times as long as Rock and Roller Coaster. And it's a huge coaster. The show building is just immense. You don't even realize how big that show building is until you're right next to it. That big blue building, the big blue box at Epcot, as a lot of people are calling it. Um, the it's it's massive. It just feels like it goes on forever, and that was really cool. A nice touch because we waited a little bit of time in line because the ride did have some technical difficulties. But it was pretty cool to be able to experience that today. I did only ride once. Like I said at the beginning of the live here, we only got to ride once because there was technical difficulties, and by the time we got out of the queue, they weren't doing any more previews for today. But cast member previews go all the way from now until the beginning of May, and then the previews for annual pass holders, DVC, Club 33, Golden Oak, whatever special clubs there are at Disney, you're getting a cast member. You're getting a preview for Cosmic Rewind. Let me roll back here in the comments. Let me take a look here. Alexis says she's going back to Disney World in November. We'll definitely go to Epcot and check out Cosmic Rewind. Brittany says, is it kid friendly? You're going for your daughter's birthday. It is absolutely kid friendly. It is definitely more intense than a kiddie coaster like Barnstormer, or even more intense than a Slinky Dog Dash. But it is very smooth. There is no inversions, which means it does not go upside down. And man, the music, A+. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies are known for the classic rock music. They're known for really great movie music. And the ride is no exception. I did hear, let me look at this up here. I did see when I rode the entire time. So you listen to the same song throughout the duration of the ride, and apparently there's at least 5 to 6 songs that will just randomly happen depending on when you ride. So you may not even get the same song every time. But I was lucky enough, and I didn't know the set list or the playlist going into it. I was very lucky to get Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And if you don't know that song, look it up on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. It is such a vibe. That song was so much fun to ride this ride to. And the speed and the rotation of the cars and just the overall vibe of the ride meshed so well with that song that I honestly don't want to ride with another song. Are you asking me what other songs you can listen to on this ride? Well, I do have some answers for you. I do have a list here that I did see on Twitter from our friend at DSNY Newscast. He is a fantastic YouTube channel. Jack is an awesome guy. Let me look up this list here. So it looks like we have where's that list there? Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 is one of the options. The Tramps Disco Inferno, that's another option. We also have, let me see here, September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's a classic. And then Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. And I believe Roller Coaster of Love, but I'm not 100% sure. I did not see that for a fact. But very, very cool. The show scenes were great. One of the cool things that I did see is that you don't come to a stop. Like, if you guys have ever ridden Escape from Gringotts, the coaster itself on Cosmic Rewind does not stop. It slows down at points for the show scenes, but they're really cool because the screens are like long and wide and curved, so they kind of bend along the track. But the cool part is that the coaster train actually can spin 360 degrees, so it kind of turns you towards the show scene that you watch. I won't say, I won't spoil what is on the screens, but it was really impressive how it was built and how the screens meshed perfectly into the ride. One other cool thing, too, is that it was very dark in there. This ride will not translate well to video, so I would recommend, if at some point you see a YouTube video, a POV of this ride, don't bother watching it. Just get down here and ride it for yourself. It's not going to be good. It's really dark for most of it, but the visuals are really cool. It kind of reminds me of Space Mountain in a certain way, but the stars are brighter. It really does feel like you're in space. The music flows beautifully, and it's just stunning. There are big physical set pieces as well. There's one point where you circle the moon, which is really cool. And then the jump points are just as cool as you think they would be. If you look at any of the Cosmic Rewind, what's the word I'm thinking of? Concept art. Thank you. You see like the little hexagon jump point things. Those are featured as part of the ride. And it is stunning to see those in person because you go through these jump points while you're on your mission, jumping from different points of the galaxy. So I can't explain to you how fun this ride was. I wish I could ride it again. And we actually had a chance to schedule another preview for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And I am going to go again next Saturday, April 23rd, and I'm hoping to ride it at least twice on that day, maybe experience a different song, maybe experience something that I didn't see before, maybe something wasn't working. I really don't know. This is our first time on this ride, and it was everything I was hoping it would be and more. So very, very excited that the ride was great. Do you think more Marvel-focused things will be put into Disney World? Unfortunately, I do not. If you don't know already, Universal has the rights to Marvel characters in their theme parks east of the Mississippi River, which means that any Marvel character, whether it be Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, everybody, they are featured. Even if it's just on a poster or it's on a facade at Universal, it cannot be featured at Walt Disney World here in Florida. That's why Avengers Campus and the other Guardians of the Galaxy ride that took over Tower of Terror out in California, that's why all that stuff is out there. Unfortunately, we are only probably going to get Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know exactly what Universal prohibits Disney from using, but I know Guardians is not part of that list, which is why they were able to build this coaster at Epcot. So I wouldn't look forward to anything Marvel at Walt Disney World anytime soon, unless it's Guardians related. Yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid of that too. Guys, ask away. Any questions? Let me know what you want to know because I will answer your questions. This is a spoiler-ridden zone. It is not a spoiler-free zone. But let me know if you have any questions as far as the ride here, Cosmic Rewind. The weather outside, it is frightful. And the sky is not delightful. It is raining, it is thundering, it is lightning, it is yucky outside here in Orlando. So I'm hoping right before I went live here, we had a big flash and I thought the computer went off, but it didn't. So we're still here. But if we get shut off, I am sorry. Very, very excited to get back on this ride again next Saturday. I am sitting with my cohort here, Danny. Let me pan over here. She's with Simba. That's our dog, Simba. Say hello to everybody.
Say, let me talk in the mic.
Yeah, you can.
This one?
Yeah. I was trying to avoid some spoilers for Danny, but she's sitting here, so yeah, she's finding out some things.
I'm super excited to go on this ride. I'm so jealous that I couldn't go on with you.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know also, this is our dog Simba. He's 10, and he is nervous about the storm, so he's gonna be hanging out with us right now.
Yeah.
So if he looks a little nervous, that's why.
He's all good. He's a big brave boy.
Except for Thunder. Thunder is terrifying.
Yes, that is a lot of Disney ears. She has a problem.
I mean, I don't have a problem.
It's kind of a problem.
So before we moved here, I only had maybe 3 pairs of ears.
Oh yeah.
And then once we moved here, my excuse was, well, I can wear them all the time, so it didn't seem like as bad of a.
Oop.
Uh-oh.
Our stand just tipped over.
It just didn't seem as terrible to purchase because I could wear them all the time. Where at home I just can't really convince myself to spend $30 on a pair of ears I might wear once.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know Sunshine1_01. I don't know if they're going to do boarding groups. I would imagine probably not because of Genie Plus existing. This ride is an absolute people eater. There's actually 2 load zones. So it's kind of like, when you go on Big Thunder Mountain, when you go down the final ramp there and you either go left or right, but you can board on both sides. That's kind of like what Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is. There's 2 different load zones, and tons of people can get on pretty quickly, and they are sending cars out very quick, very quick.
Well, it needs to be a people eater because
it does.
There are going to be so many people who are going to want to watch this.
Correct. Let me see here. I feel I just ordered a pair of $45 Ahsoka ears. Wow, that's an expensive set of ears there.
I think Alexa said that she said something about there's more ears on the other side.
Oh yeah, there's more ears on the other side. I'm not going to spin it because I don't want to knock the stand over again.
Well, also, what do you guys like to see? I'm a big advocate for getting merch that I can use all the time.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to see all my ears if we do a live one day?
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that.
Some of that kind of stuff.
We'll definitely do that.
You know what? I don't have a pair of Marvel ears. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that I think about it, it looks like I'm gonna have to get another pair.
Terra Fermi _ asked, do you think they'll open it before the 27th by any luck? I'm going the 16th. I do think, because they are holding previews for Annual Pass, DVC, there'll be more cast member previews for friends and family. As we get closer to the May 27th opening, I believe that they end on the 22nd or 23rd. There's a possibility, it's not guaranteed, but there's a possibility that they might soft open it a couple of days early before the official opening and let regular park guests in. That is definitely not guaranteed. I have no inside information on that, but it's a possibility. But I don't think, unless you have a preview, an official preview booked, that you'll be able to ride Cosmic Rewind on the 16th, but that is just my humble opinion. Let me scroll down to the comments here. Let's see. How long do I think the duration of the ride is? The ride is about 3 minutes long. I went on it earlier today. Today was the first day of cast member previews, and it was about 3 minutes long, which is almost 3 times as long as Rock and Roller Coaster, which is awesome. The ride honestly felt really long. I expected it to end a couple of times, and it just kept going, which when you wait an hour plus, 2 hours plus for a ride, you don't want it to be over in a minute. It's not as satisfying. But everything from the beginning of the ride to the end was so fun. It wasn't overly intense. It had intensity, but it wasn't overly intense. Just an overall great experience. I love the ride. Again, for those of you who are just joining now, I think I would say that it is probably intense as Space Mountain. It doesn't get much more intense than that as far as thrill level goes, but the smoothness is game changing. This ride is the smoothest coaster I've ever been on, and up until today, I would have said that Velocicoaster or Hagrid's were probably the smoothest coasters in Florida, but this definitely takes the cake for smoothest coaster that I've ever been on currently. And just the way you go up and down these little hills and the reverse launch and the way the music is playing, it's a vibe, guys. It's awesome. It's so much fun. I cannot wait for you all to experience it, and I want to hear what you think when you finally do. Brittany says she waited 3 hours in February for Hagrid's, and it was longer than we anticipated and loved it. Yes, that ride is over a mile of track. It is a long ride, and it is worth the wait if you've never been on it before. If you've been on it before, you might not want to wait as long. But for your first visit to Cosmic Rewind, honestly, either buy the $15 Lightning Lane or whatever it's going to cost that day, or wait whatever you need to wait, because you should definitely not miss this ride, and wait whatever you need to wait to get on it, at least for the first time, and then you can kind of decide for yourself how long you want to wait for this ride after that. But it is a must-do. It is an Imagineering marvel. The ride is so smooth. The colors, the stars while you're in space is awesome, or are awesome. I did not see the entire pre-show, that it was not open yet. We did see the first room of the queue, which is the Galaxarium, which had a lot of really cool elements, including a beautiful glass and metal switchback with ramps rather than just like the chains and the poles that you go back and forth. It just kind of feels like a boring queue. It was beautifully designed by the Imagineers, and they deserve a lot of credit for how stunning that Galaxarium is. The first room of the queue, right when you enter the Wonders of Xandar, which is a nod to the Wonders of Life pavilion, which is right next door. Eventually will be the Play Pavilion.
So Alexa says that she loves rides, but not roller coasters. Actually, Bill used to not be the biggest fan of roller coasters.
Never.
And now he'll go on just about anything.
Just about everything. As long as I feel safe. I do not like Mako at SeaWorld. That ride scares me. But it's a 207-foot drop that's 80-something degrees down, and all you're wearing is a lap bar, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But Velocicoaster is probably more intense than Mako, but I just feel safer, and it's smoother, and I absolutely love Velocicoaster. I went on Friday. You can't beat it. But Cosmic Rewind, yes, it is a coaster, but it's not overly intense. Like I said before, it is on the intensity level maximum of Space Mountain, but it's way smoother and way more fun because you're jamming out the entire time to a classic rock song. Brittany says, now Velocicoaster was meh because we ran there at 8 a.m. and it was a lot first thing in the morning. Yeah, so that ride is definitely not meh.
At 8 a.m., it's your cup of coffee.
Yeah, it wakes you up in the morning. Forget espresso, forget coffee. Go on Velocicoaster first thing in the morning. You will be wide awake as fast as possible. Can't recommend that ride enough. But any other questions, guys, about Cosmic Rewind? Would I ride SheiKra? Remind me of what SheiKra is as far as ride systems, because I can't remember. I know I want to ride Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens. That looks really fun. Very similar to Hagrid's, where it's like low, windy, fast, and close to the ground. For me personally, I don't like the climbing 200 feet, going tick 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 tick, and I just keep thinking about what's going to happen on the drop. Whereas rides like Hulk and Velocicoaster, where they just send you, and Rock and Roller Coaster, and even Cosmic Rewind, they send you. You don't have to think about it. You don't really need to worry about looking down or seeing down. You just go. It's a lot of fun. So I have never been to Busch Gardens in Tampa. I don't recall what SheiKra is, but I'll probably give it a whirl and see what it's like. Were the video elements of Cosmic Rewind finished? So that I don't know. Like I said before, we did not see the entire queue. We only saw the first room, the Galaxarium, and then we were actually snaked backstage all the way to the where you board the coaster. So I did not see anything past the first room. We were not allowed to see that yet. I think there's still construction and work and stuff going on, but that should be ready by the time the official annual pass holder previews, DVC previews, etc. are running, because those are the people that they want to have that full experience as far as their official previews. So I don't know if the video elements of Cosmic Rewind in the queue were finished, but I do think that the video elements on the ride were finished. There was a couple of really cool show scenes, like I was saying before, with the rounded screens where you kind of just glide by them. You never come to a stop, which is beautiful, but you just kind of ride by them. And then there's a couple of video elements with the Guardians of the Galaxy at the beginning and the end, but you hear them talking to you in the coaster train the entire time. So you're on a mission. You're jumping different points in space, and you're on a mission. And it's super fun. Can't explain to you how much I love this ride. Looking forward to doing my next preview next Saturday on April 23rd. Any other questions as far as Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? Any other spoilers you would like to know? No, Kurt, it does not feel short. It is a long ride. It is long for a roller coaster. It is about 3 minutes long. I'm not entirely sure how long Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is, if it's as long as the title. But let me see if I can find the length of Hagrid's. Let me see here. So it looks like Hagrid's is about the same length, about 3 minutes, 25 seconds. But you do stop at certain points for show scenes on Hagrid's. But you definitely don't stop here on Cosmic Rewind. Brittany says, I did hear a lot of complaints on Rocket's voice in the ride. I didn't notice anything wrong with it. Rocket does talk to you right at the very beginning before the reverse launch. And it was a little bit tough to hear him as you moved closer, because he was like down a hallway almost where the coaster train was heading. But as you got closer to the screen that he was on, you could hear him better. So I don't know if that's something they're going to tweak, or it's just meant to sound like he's far away, but you're getting close to him as you get ready to go into the reverse launch and go into this amazing coaster. Danny, do you have anything to add as far as what you're looking forward to seeing in the coaster here?
I'm trying to think.
Because I know you've heard all of my little spoilers so far.
So if you've listened to our show before, you'll know that I am not very happy with the fact that we can't have Marvel here, and I wish we could have like Avengers Campus and stuff. So
yeah.
I'm very excited that we can have Guardians at least.
Yep.
I feel like it's going to give me a taste of like being able to have Marvel here.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like a tease.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to expect. Fun, chaos, just a roller coaster adventure. And aside from that, I don't really know what I really want out of the coaster, but it's already built, so and everybody seems to be loving it. You seem to have loved the
Oh,
coaster.
I wanted to go on again so bad, but I totally understand it was the first day of previews, and they were not doing any more previews for the rest of the day. I'm going to turn my attention over here to YouTube. We are live at youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers. Go subscribe there if you like theme park content. We just did a visit to Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach. We have a spectacular single shot viewing of Epcot's Harmonious Nighttime Spectacular. Go check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers. I just want to talk to a couple of comments here on our YouTube page, our YouTube live page here. And Drew Doherty says, how intense is it? I'm fine with speed. It's just drops I have issues with. Did it have any major dips? So right away, there's what's called a reverse launch. What that is that basically the coaster train is able to, the part that you're sitting in is able to rotate 360 degrees in any direction they want. They point you where they want you to point you. So what happens is your seats basically turn around and you go up the first hill in a launch backwards, which is really cool. It's kind of similar to the feeling, not quite as intense, but it's kind of similar to the feeling of the backwards going uphill on Expedition Everest, if you've ever been on that. It kind of makes your stomach kind of rise up a little bit. It gives you a little bit of G-force. It's very, very cool. As far as major drops, I do remember one decent drop, but I don't think there was anything crazy as far as drops go on this ride. But there's a lot of like loops and dips, and there's no inversions. It does not go upside down. It's very family friendly. But the speed is really solid. It's really smooth. You do go, kind of like tilting sideways, and you do go backwards, and you do go down and up a lot, but nothing too crazy. So I think you would really, really like it, Drew. Yeah, I'd say similar to Mummy in intensity. It's definitely longer for sure. It's less intense than a Velocicoaster or a Rock and Roller Coaster. I think it's right around the same intensity of Space Mountain, but with the smoothness and similarities of Hagrid's, if you've been on that at Universal. Let's see here. Christopher, the Disney Dude, says, hi, I'm going for pass holder previews on May 8th with my family. My mom is not the biggest fan of coasters. She likes Slinky, Space, Hagrid's. She does not like Velocicoaster. Will she like this? This is in no way, shape, or form as intense as Velocicoaster. If she can do Hagrid's, she can absolutely do this ride. It is in the dark, so you almost can't see where you're going at all, which is the cool part. You can't see the track in most of the ride. Except for a couple of sort of well-lit parts. But you really can't see the track at all. I was actually in the back part of the coaster train. We had the very, very last row, and that was super fun. So if she can handle Slinky Dog, Space, and Hagrid, she can absolutely handle Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Do I think there will be a best spot to sit on the ride? Going back to the TikTok comments here. Do I think there will be a best spot to sit on the ride? I don't know, honestly, because I think the reverse launch, you might get the most intensity by sitting in the front because you're going to be like the back car on the reverse launch. I still felt my stomach kind of go whoop on the reverse launch, and I was in the back seat. So I would imagine that being in the front, you're going to get more pull out of the reverse launch. But in the back car, I thought it was really, really fun and really smooth and plenty of speed to get the thrill junkies their fix, but definitely not crazy intense. Let's see here. You tried the Transformers 3D ride at Universal. It was okay. So that is a very, very different type of ride. That is a simulator-based ride with lots of screens, and it's just nothing like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Any other questions before we get out of here? I just wanted to jump on and kind of discuss with you guys what I thought of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind on its first day of cast member previews, first day of operation to any sort of public outside of the team members who are on the opening team for Cosmic Rewind, or the Imagineers, or the straight up builders of the ride. They've done an incredible job on the theming and the queue. The ride itself was awesome. I cannot wait to see the full pre-show. I'm hoping that maybe on Saturday when we go for our next preview, that that part of the queue that I missed will be open. I'm not counting on it because I do think that they are saving that for previews for the DVCs and the annual pass and all the official previews that are coming up before the ride actually opens. But fingers crossed. I'm hoping that it is part of my preview next Saturday as well. But thank you guys. We're going to get out of here. The weather is still really bad out here in Orlando, but thank you guys for joining us here on youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers, on TikTok Live. We appreciate you so much. And until next time, we'll see you around the parks.